What is going on, guys? Blink here, back with a new guide. So in this guide I'll be explaining a few different building battle scenarios and the best ways of doing certain things in each scenario. Also, the V-Bucks giveaway is still going on, so make sure to visit the link in the description to enter. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications as I post an Amazon gift card code in the comments every time I upload. By turning on notifications, you'll have a way better chance of getting here first and redeeming that code. Anyways guys, let's get to this guide. So I'll quickly talk about the double staircase method, and I've mentioned it a few times but never really explained it yet. Now, this isn't the double staircase where you used to build for support. This is the one I utilize to block opponents from building. This double staircase I'll be showing is mostly utilized during the build off, so I'll explain this whole fight. Built up and thought this player wasn't building till I saw it at the end. He ended up getting the high ground, and as I've explained many times, use those floors to maneuver your way around your opponent's stairs. Made sure to add walls right after to avoid getting shot in the back. Now, he still had the high ground, and I made sure to defend myself with the double wall. Whenever you're right under your opponent's build, then add two walls in the approximate direction they are. You block them from peeking and you'll save yourself from getting shot, because as you guys know, the player with the high ground plays more aggressive because he knows the player down below will have a hard time tracking. So just make sure you guys are still somewhat watching your opponent when building. If you see them building in a certain area, then block them from putting shots in. You can see that my second wall blocked my opponent's shotgun shot, which could have been fatal. You want to get the high ground the safest and the most efficient way possible. If you're at 10 HP every time you grab the high ground, then something's wrong. So make sure you utilize the replay feature to spot for any mistakes you make. Now, this player jumped off and lost his high ground. As I claimed it, you can see I added two staircases instead of stretching the one. I've talked about extending that first staircase in my guide, but never talked about that second one being stretched that can also block your opponent. So when you're building, you always want to build with the one stair you walk on, as it's quicker and more efficient than trying to build with two stairs side by side the whole time. Now, by knowing where your opponent is, you can stretch that second staircase as well. So as we build, here's a great example of it being used pretty well on my opponent. My opponent ended up being to my left, and instead of allowing him to build up, I extended that second staircase to where my opponent is. So you see I extended the first one, but I also placed that second one around his area. Now I'm able to edit my stair and shoot him. This fight was a little chaotic as I kept missing my pump shots since the pump would trigger twice, because as you guys know, the double pump is kind of back, but it's still not working 100% of the time. You have to get the timings right every single time you use it. Sometimes you'll get it right and sometimes you'll mess it up. So after all those misses, I decided to pull out my hunting rifle and I got a lucky shot. This isn't a meta because you don't want to be using the sniper for your close range fights. I'll show you guys one more quick example of this double ramp method. You can see me and this player built off, and as you build, pay attention to where his ramps are. I kept building right to see if I can double ramp him to stop him from building. I did just that and made a quick edit to get a rocket down below. To make the edit, you want to edit the far three boxes to open up the middle. I was able to eliminate my opponent and never let the build war happen. Saved a lot of materials because I was able to stop a building battle before it even started. So make sure you guys look at where your opponent's building and try adding that extra staircase. This next example will talk about dropping down to shoot. So I got shot and I needed to take my minis. Did it quickly before my fight went on. Now, my opponent never ended up building up to me. Instead, he tried destroying my materials with his pickaxe. So you don't have to wait until he destroys it. Make a move. Anytime your opponent's trying to destroy your materials, then you want to see if you can get an angle on him. This player was using his pickaxe, which is even better for me, as I can catch him out with it. I wasn't high at all, so I dropped down and surprised him before he can do anything. You can also see at the end, I got ready to put a wall down just in case he had time to shoot back. So make sure you guys are ready to defend yourself if you miss your shots, or your opponent seems like he's looking right back at you, ready to shoot. Now, here's one more similar example, except I included another great way of getting a heal off. I got caught in the open and my opponent put me down to low HP. So what I did was build up and up. Just built a few stories high, that way you have time to heal just in case your opponent goes for a push. Now, because I'm going directly up, my opponent would have to need to maneuver his way around my fort, which would have taken him longer. This gives me a few seconds to get my heals off. You also have to make sure you have enough support at the bottom, that way one or two materials doesn't collapse your structure. Now, this works much better when taking two minis, as you can get them off quicker. So make sure you guys listen and look for your opponent as you heal. He never pushed me and tried destroying my materials. This method of healing is super useful, especially at the start of the game. If you get enough wood, then you should get that heal off no problem. A lot of the times your opponent might not have enough materials at the start of the game to build up to you, so he'll try to destroy your support. Once getting off that heal, maneuver your way around your fort and see if you can spot your opponent. I got off a few shots on him and kept getting closer so I can get that elimination. In these last two examples, make sure you're listening for any materials being broken. Now, this last example was talked about in my previous guide, but I'll quickly explain how I build the floor peeking method efficiently. So I went for the build up. My opponent never built up, so all I had to do is get closer to line up shots. Use my floors to maneuver my way closer. Now, the last floor you want to peek from, you'll jump towards it, and as you're in the air, you'll be able to place down a wall and a staircase before you even land. It gives you a nice smooth setup and a quick way of peeking over. Just make sure you guys are not slowing down when doing this. Keep that speed consistent, that way you can get the wall and the staircase down when you're in the air. It shouldn't take you guys too long to master this cool building trick. Well guys, that's it for this guide. Hopefully I've helped some people out, and a like and a sub would be greatly appreciated as it does help me out a lot. Anyways guys, thanks for watching and hope you have a great rest of your day or night, and I'll see you on the next one.